So, hi there. Today's topic is data integration. So, data integration is the next step, you can say, or one of the steps of pre-processing. Okay. So, what is it? So let's get into it directly. So, what this data integration is, basically, we want to combine some data. We want to integrate it. Okay. And that data can be combined from multiple sources into a data store, as in you can see warehousing. What warehousing is basically, as we already discussed, it is a repository where we can store heterogeneous type of data from multiple sources, that too in huge amount. Okay, so the sources can be like from multiple databases, data cubes, data files, flat files, any type of data we can integrate. But there are some conditions for that you have to remember for this topic. Okay, and that is the main part. So schema integration is written over here. So let us see what is it. For schema integration, we have to check whether any redundancy is there or not in the data set, and you have to check the similarity in two data sets, you can say. So what is it? Let us understand by some examples. Suppose there is one table. Okay, this is one table, and there is another table with which you want to perform this integration, and there are some two columns. In this one, it is written with the attribute name is, column name is ID, and here the name is number. Okay, and we want to integrate them both. Okay, on the basis of the ID and number. You can say it like student ID, student number, or customer ID, customer number, depends on what kind of data set you are having. So there are some certain values in this one, and we want to combine these two tables by utilizing ID and number. Now, how will you do that? So there is a term called as correlation analysis that you have to remember for sure in this topic. We have to perform correlation analysis on these two tables. Okay. Suppose you would say this ID is represented here with the attribute A, and B is representing this attribute number. So we want to perform correlation analysis on these two tables, on ID and number basically, and we will be having some results. And this is the formula for correlation analysis, which is in terms of probability. So probability of A and B, P of A and P of B. Okay, so how it will happen? What will be the result? So correlation analysis is usually represented with the term R, and there can be three types of results that you have to remember for data integration and correlation analysis. Basically, it will give us whether these two are related to each other, whether these two are dependent on each other or not, so that we can perform integration on it or not. That is the purpose of this correlation analysis. So let us understand what values we can get. So R can be 1, first thing. It can be less than 1, and third one is it can be greater than 1. So if it is equal to 1, that means the attribute A and B are independent of each other. That is the meaning of it. They are independent of each other. Independent of each other. Okay, so I'm not writing it complete. Please understand it. Okay, so that means they are independent of each other. Now here I will tell you what is the meaning of it. If it is less than 1, that means they are negatively correlated. That is the meaning of it. Negatively correlated. Or you can say there is negative correlation. Okay. That is if the result is coming as less than 1, negative correlation. Third one is greater than 1. So if the value is coming as greater than 1, that means the two attributes are dependent on each other. Very important one. Okay, they are dependent on each other. Dependent. In other terms, you can also call it like, you can also say it like they are positively correlated. Okay, that can also be the meaning. Now, how do you say if they are independent of each other? What is the meaning of it? That means whatever changes are happening with ID, it will not at all affect this number. Okay, the another attribute number. That means whatever is happening with attribute A, it is nowhere going to affect B. That means they are independent of each other. Negatively correlated means whatever changes you are doing in ID, it will affect the number attribute in an opposite way, in a negative form. Opposite will happen with it. So whatever is happening with attribute A, the opposite will happen with attribute B. That is the meaning of negative correlation. If the value is greater than 1, that means both are dependent of each other, and that is the case we are more interested into. Okay, so what is the meaning of this dependent thing? That means whatever is happening with the attribute ID, it will affect the attribute number in a positive way. That means same will happen with the number. Okay, that means ID and number, or we can say the attribute A and B are dependent on each other. Okay, in a positive form. And in which case we can perform data integration? We can perform data integration in the case of dependent one. Okay, so that you have to remember. One more thing, I'll highlight this part. So where we can perform integration, when you are having the correlation analysis, the value is coming as greater than 1. So there we can perform data integration. So I hope you got the point, what you have to remember in data integration. That's it from my side for this video. I will see you in next video, and please don't forget to subscribe the channel, share the videos with the students who need it. And if you are having any doubts, please put the comments and discuss with me. Thank you so much.